since September 20th against Pittsburgh. But he's the man tonight. So is Marino. Miami wins it 31-20.
Have been somewhat inconsistent this season. And the Seahawks have 3 deep back. Steve Broussard will take it from the goal line for Seattle. A block from Kerry Joseph. Another block upfield, and there he goes. By midfield, deep into Denver territory, knocked out of bounds at the 44. Tackled by Torrey James, a return of 56 yards. And Broussard gives great beginning field position for 26-year-old quarterback Jon Kitna.
By way of Central Washington and the Barcelona Dragons, Dennis Erickson went and worked him out himself, said this guy just has a spark, he's got mobility, and he is an exciting young star in the National Football League.
First and 10 from the 44, the pitch out to Ricky Waters. From behind, he is pulled down by Keith Traylor and Harold Hasselbeck. No gain on the play, second down and 10 upcoming. And Seattle's offense coming into today 23rd in the NFL. Walter Jones, the left tackle, with Kendall Gray, Brian Habib, the ex-Bronco, and Howard Ballard. Just saw the run by Waters. Max Strong will be the blocking back. Joey Galloway and Mike Pritchard are the wide receivers. The tight end, Christian Fourier. Second down and 10 inside the 44. Kitna throws outside. Caught by Waters and tumbles ahead after Darian Gordon makes the tackle. A gain of 2, setting up 3rd and 8. Denver's defense 8th ranked in the NFL. Hasselbeck, Traylor, Trevor Price, Ma'at Tanavasa. Neil Smith won't play, he's injured. Mobley, Glenn Cadrez, and Bill Romanowski, perhaps the best defensive player this year for Denver. In the secondary, Crockett, Atwater, George Coghill takes the place of Braxton, and Darian Gordon is the right corner. 3rd and 8 from the 42. Kitna, great time in the pocket, throws a pass right through the hands of wide receiver Joey Galloway. It's incomplete, and they'll have to punt on their first possession. A rare miss for Galloway.
And talking to Mike Shanahan yesterday, they were going to play Joey Galloway and Jon Kitna just the way they opened up. A soft zone. They were going to let them try to beat a 4-man rush by the Denver Broncos and play the pass. Nothing there that time. Jon Kitna really almost had one intercepted with that rifle shot.
Finesse punter Jeff Beagles will send this deep. Coghill is back. It'll land inside the 10. Bounce at the 5 and is off the fingertips of Fred Thomas on a 42-yard punt. Beagles just about had him stranded at the 1. Jason Kyle was there as well, 57.
Fred Thomas, Jason Kyle. This is what happens when your season is seemed to be snake bit. Look at them looking at each other. Who's going to get it? You don't make a fair catch call there. Nobody says, I got it, like you do a pop fly in baseball. It's the first guy there. John Elway, 9th Pro Bowl. Didn't have a good ball game last week against the Miami Dolphins. He'll have to play better. Actually, he rated it just a little better than a 26 rating, which is very, very low. But he's played his best football against these Seattle Seahawks. Has had 40 touchdown passes.
From the 20-yard line, first down and 10. Good block on the far side. Ball is loose. It came out of the hands of Elway. Incomplete pass. Setting up in the pocket, and it may have just slipped right out of the grasp of 37-year-old John Elway.
Well, the arm was going forward. That's all that counts. It doesn't matter how far the ball goes, but he tries to pull this one back. Once you cock your arm and you start forward with it, that grip starts to loosen as you start to release the spiral. You see, he starts, realizes there's nothing going to be happening downfield, tries to pull it back, and it doesn't happen.
Second down and 10. Griffith in motion. Elway with time. Throws a pass. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. Adams may have gotten the way. Although Michael Sinclair was there as well. The Broncos on offense, #1 in the NFL. Tony Jones, a Pro Bowler for the first time after 11 NFL seasons. Schlereth, Nalen in the Pro Bowl. Neal and Harry Swain. Davis going for 2,000 today, needs 170 yards. Griffith the blocking back. A couple 1,000-yard wide receivers in Smith and McCaffrey. And the all-pro tight end is Shannon Sharp. Third down and 10 from the 20. Elway from the shotgun, given great time. Great block by Jones. Elway fires, and he's got a receiver. A flag is down. The catch is made by Smith on a back pedal at the Seattle 44 as it stands now, a gain of 36 yards.
Seattle learned one thing. They're not getting there with a 4-man rush. I bet you he was holding that ball 6, 7, maybe 8 seconds.
Holding, 20 defense, penalty is declined, first down.
Jay Bellamy didn't have much of a choice but to hold on to it. And listen, look at how long. You see the offensive lineman, a double team right there, solid on that side. Elway moves to get good vision down the field, and then breaking loose at the last minute. Jay Bellamy can't hold on forever. Rod Smith with a big game.
Smith with his 78th reception of the season. He is the 6th rated wide receiver in the NFL. The pitch out to Davis. A block by Griffith, and he gets a couple down near the 43, tackled by rookie linebacker Deshaun Miles.
Last time these two teams played, Terrell Davis had 208 yards rushing. So this is one of the teams he's played well against. He needs 170 yards today to break the 2,000-yard mark. He needs 17 yards today to take over the lead in rushing in the NFL.
And he's got a bad back and bad ribs. 2nd down and 9. Davis cuts outside. Got a McCaffrey block, and he's to the 35. Tackled by Jay Bellamy. The Seattle defense today, 25th in the NFL coming in. A line of Michael Sinclair coming into today tied for the sack lead in the league with Adams, Cortez Kennedy, great tackles, and Phillip Daniels outside. Anthony Simmons, a rookie first-round pick. Deshaun Miles, a 4th-round pick and a rookie. And the great Chad Brown, bound for Honolulu in February. Springs, Williams, Bellamy, and Willie Williams. Sean Springs in his 2nd year. He'll also be a Pro Bowler in Honolulu in early February. 3rd and 1. Handoff, big hole, and a mammoth run to the 25 by Terrell Davis. He gains 9 and picks up a first down for Denver. So Davis gains 9 on Denver's first possession today after Seattle punts. And now with 18 yards on the ground. And at the 26-yard line of Seattle, it's Denver 1st and 10 in a scoreless first quarter.
And he goes past Jamal Anderson for the league lead in rushing. Terrell Davis wins it in 1998.
Fake handoff, play action, good block by Swain, good block by Jones. There goes Elway. With time, chased by Sinclair, and down he goes. Sacked at the 37. Michael Sinclair, along with Phillip Daniels, cave in on him.
Last week against Miami, John Elway, playing with a throw and pull and a little bit of a hip flexor, which is basically the same thing, had a little trouble going to his right. This time he flushes to the right. Protection is holding up. Coverage, you hear about coverage sacks. Really, coverage sacks are more quarterbacks giving into the sack rather than throw it away. But that time he didn't see everybody coming from all the angles. He's looking downfield, got that grip on the ball like all great quarterbacks do, so he can throw the ball late. And then out of nowhere, there's Michael Sinclair.
For Sinclair, his 17th sack, a career high, and John Elway will burn a timeout with 2nd and 22 staring at him with about 5 minutes gone here in the first quarter from Mile High. The Broncos have lost 2 consecutive games. They're looking for a win to end the regular year. Back at Mile High Stadium in Denver, the numbers on Terrell Davis. 2nd down and 22 after the sack by Seattle. Back to the Seattle 39. 4 wide receivers deployed by Elway. With time, slings a pass to the near side, caught by Rod Smith. He dances on the side, working on Terry McDaniel. He's to the 23, picking up 16 on 2nd and 22.
And that's the fire zone that we're seeing so much about. You see the rushers, and then here's a lineman's going to drop back into coverage. What it does, though, is those linemen can't get into the deep outside zone, so it left that throwing lane open for Rod Smith. A quarterback like John Elway that can move, though, is not as bothered by that fire zone as much as a quarterback that stands straight in that pocket. Protection holds up.
Now 3rd and 8 for Elway inside the 24. Rolling from the pocket, chased on the blitz by Williams. He throws it as he is spun. It's an incomplete pass. He may have been outside the pocket, and the pocket is defined from tight end to tight end, and a late flag has been thrown at the 42.
Now that's a strange late flag because the referee initially ruled that he was outside the tight end to tight end zone where he can throw the ball away. It's a safety feature that's put in. by the league to protect quarterbacks, in particular quarterbacks like John Elway. And now it looks like they've cleared it up.
Bernie Kukoc.
The quarterback was out of the pocket. Did not get to the line of scrimmage. However, there was a receiver there. No penalty.
And what he's talking about is the ball has to, if he's out of the pocket, he can throw it and just throw one away. But it has to get at least 2 or beyond the line of scrimmage, unless, of course, there's somebody in the area that he's throwing to behind the line of scrimmage. See, he goes behind it. Now, here comes the chase. As he throws the ball, he's got to get it to the line of scrimmage, unless there's a ball. There it is, right there. You see, coming back hard, looking for a reception. Ed McCaffrey hoping that he could get to it.
Jason Elam on 4th down will try a 42-yard field goal. Tom Ruin, the punter, will hold. Elam has kicked a 63-yarder this year, and this one is no good. He had missed just 2 all season long coming into today, including last Monday night in Miami. A rare miss by Elam. We're still scoreless in Denver. Second possession from the 33. Play action by Kitna. Fires a pass, which is caught by Joey Galloway, the elusive wide receiver out of Ohio State, close to a first down with about 9.5 on that gain. Tackled by middle linebacker Glenn Cadrez.
Joey Callaway's just going to come in against a zone defense, and he's going to turn in and find that hole right there. You see the zone inside and outside, but nobody in the throwing lane. When you talk about a zone defense, the guys that take that away are the linebackers. The defensive backs are the last line of defense. The guys that try to get in between the throw are the linebackers. And if a good receiver like Joey Galloway can sense that, he can slide into the open throwing lane.
Galloway's 63rd reception on the season. 1,000-yard receiver, an alternate for the Pro Bowl, as you see the measurement. And he is about 2 lengths shy of the first down.
You know, talking to Joey Galloway last night, he said, nobody can cover me man for man, especially bump and run. I'm going to beat them. You're going to see more zone against me where they can get help inside and out. He's right.
And we saw that on 70 and 57-yard touchdown passes against the Jets and All-Pro Aaron Glenn a couple weeks ago.
And going up against an All-Pro, it wasn't just going up against somebody that he could outrun. And also the throw was perfectly placed by John Kitna. Kitna, remember, is playing really as a starter in his first year. 4-1 as a starter coming into this ball game.
Galloway, by the way, is right with Steve Largent in terms of receptions this far into his career. Inches to go on 2nd down, and with ease they get it. Max Strong pile drives his way up for the first down and gains about 5 on the play. The playoff picture of the AFC.
Well, it gets a little bit clearer now because of the games that were played earlier today. New England, the number 6 seed, plays Jacksonville, number 3, at Jacksonville. And Buffalo will be at Miami, even though Miami lost today. And then, of course, the winners go on from there. The teams drawing the bye, the New York Jets and Denver, were the 2 best records in the AFC. The game, this complicated formula is clearing up fast today.
Trevor Price injury and a timeout. Trevor Price walked off under his own power. He's okay. He'll come back in. He's got to miss a play because they took the injury timeout.
That's 7.5 sacks this year. One of the They come with 4 guys up front. He's one of the important ones.
John Kitna, first down and 10 from a 48 in a scoreless first quarter. And Harold Hasselbach, the left end, looked like he may have been a little bit antsy on the left side.
They threw
Ball start, 75 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first.
He was induced.
Induced by Howard House Ballard. They call him House mainly because he's built like one. But you can't flinch. Once you go to your 3-point stance, once your hand touches that ground, you can't move or simulate the snap count. And even if you're in a 2-point stance, in other words, you just on your knee, hands on your knees, you can't lean back. That's what happened.
Ricky Waters, a running back, will be a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen on 1st and 15. A pass bobbled, incomplete to Galloway. They've gone to him a couple times, and he's dropped both.
We talked to John Kitna last night and tried to evaluate himself. He said, you know, what he's doing right. He's recognizing mismatches. He's got mobility. He throws the short routes beautifully. And, of course, he's learning to understand defensive concepts. I can tell you as a former coach, if you don't understand your opponent, you haven't got much of a chance just by memorizing the offense.
He probably is the lowest paid starting quarterback in the NFL.
We'll talk about these.
2nd down, 15. Kitna, good block from the center. Gray down the middle he throws. Caught by Ricky Waters. He's to the Bronco 46. He picks up 11 yards. As you see other games, St. Louis and San Francisco.
New York Jets winning big today over New England.
Vinny Testaverde is making a very big statement about being the league MVP. He has been sensational.
Well, I tell you, he has played as well, certainly as well as any quarterback in the National Football League. That includes the Randall Cunninghams, the John Elways, the Dan Marinos, the Steve Youngs. He has put himself right there in the upper echelon.
Yeah, Steve Young is having a career year. 3rd and a long 4. A block by Jones buys the quarterback Kitten a time, and his pass is caught by tight end Christian Fourier. A gain of 13 to the 33 of Denver, and a first down. He beat outside linebacker John Mobley.
See John Kitten with that little smile right there. That charisma is important. He holds the ball. He's going to his second receiver. He's coming right here. Covered one-on-one by John Mobley. But Christian Fourier kept working to the inside, knowing that the quarterback was going to find him sooner or later. That's confidence in your passing game.
It is a first down for Seattle at the 34 of Denver. Scoreless in the first quarter. Drop play, handoff to Waters, coming off a career day last week. Tackled by Harold Hasselbeck. 178 yards on the ground against the Colts. The best day in the great career of Ricky Waters.
That time it was Mike Lodish slowing him down before Harold Hasselbeck did it. But Kitten also told us there were some things he needed to do better. He's got to work on his play action. These are him evaluating himself. His deep ball accuracy, inside screens, he's had a little trouble there. And his out routes, which are pure timing throws. You just have to throw them over and over.
On the quarterback out of NAIA Central Washington on 2nd down and 12. Deep drop, hit by Tanavasa, gets the pass away, and it's caught by a spinning Waters at the 26. A gain of 9. Again, he works on John Mobley, the linebacker.
Kevin, I'll tell you what, this quarterback does not look like a first-year player. Now, remember, he played over in the World League in NFL Europe for the Barcelona Dragons. Teams are understanding that there's a tremendous value in that in terms of the experience. He's been on the cab squad or the taxi squad. He's watched the likes of Warren Moon and John Freese. So he's been learning all along. But boy, has he remembered everything.
And he's 4-1 as a starter. On the 27th, 3rd and 3. Kitten sprinting out of the pocket. Running for a first down as he goes head over heels to the 21. Tackled by Crockett. Kitten with the first down romp as he gains 5.
Now this is what I like about a young quarterback. Watch the hand on the ball. See the grip? He's got his eyes downfield. The ball, though, is in a grip. Now, right at the last, that's Ray Crockett hitting him. Ray Crockett, a very physical corner. John Kitten willing to take him on one-on-one. Crockett weighs 184 pounds. Kitten, though, by not sliding, he gets every inch of that run.
And he's homegrown. He's from Tacoma. 1st and 10, 9th play with an empty backfield from the 21. Kitten, a quick hitter. It's caught by Pritchard on a dive at the 11. Close to a first down.
This is really amazing that a young quarterback can read this quickly. Ray Crockett comes from his right side just out of nowhere. They brought 6 people that time, the 4 defensive linemen, a linebacker, and Ray Crockett, and he threw in the direction of the blitz. Now the blitz is going to come from right here. You'll see him enter the screen. There he comes, and he throws right back in that direction. Well, you know, if you blitz him that side, there can't be anybody left underneath. That's where you get your one-on-one matchup.
He's 5 of 6 on this drive. 2nd down and 1. Pritchard on the move from the 11. Hand off to Waters. Up the middle he goes inside the 10 and probably acquires the first down.
You know what we're seeing right here, Kevin, is what we heard Michael Sinclair tell us last night, that these guys were going to come out here and play football as if they were in the playoffs. Had the Vinny Testaverde touchdown score counted for them, they would be playing for a 10-game, for their 10th win here today. And a victory, depending on the playoff matchups and so forth, is going to put them in the playoffs. They've had a tough year, but this football team, believe me, is going to play this one all 4 quarters.
Great numbers put up by Kitten. 1st and goal inside the Bronco 10. Hand off to Waters. Lead back by Strong, and Waters is down to the 4. It's a gain of 6 and tackled by hard-hitting Steve Atwater.
Steve Atwater been around a long time, playing in his 8th Pro Bowl this year. The motion is supposed to pull somebody out of the middle. It doesn't happen. They still leave 8 in the box. Just finding a hole up through the middle, Ricky Waters, though the last guy that he's going to find is Steve Atwater at 220 pounds, can hit just like a linebacker.
Upcoming the 12th play of the Seattle drive. 2nd down, goal at the 4. Hand off to Waters, a block by Strong. Outside he goes. Waters dives. Touchdown. that drive.
Yeah, this is something. This is in a tough place to have a drive this long. Right here at the very end, Romanowski, see, it looked like he may have been held a little bit right there, but Romanowski was the last guy. Christian Poirier got just enough of a block on him to hold him, and then the bounce outside by Ricky Waters right here. He stumbles a little bit, reaching into the end zone, though, to make sure that ball crosses the plane. That's all you need.
Todd Peterson, the extra point. It is up and in, and Seattle scores first against the defending Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. Broncos have won 23 consecutive home games, but it's Seattle early here at Mile High.
We talked to the Seattle Seahawks last night, and we certainly got the feeling that this team was ready to play. This is not a typical last game of the regular season.
The ensuing kickoff by Todd Peterson. Hebron was back, and he'll get it at the 14-yard line. A lead block by Lavelle. And Kerry Joseph makes the tackle on Hebron, who returned one last week, 95 yards, against the Miami Dolphins. A 22-yard return by number 22. Ron Hebron. Timeout at Mile High. Here comes the second possession for Denver. They missed a field goal from 42 yards away the first time they had it. From the 35.
Terrell Davis needing 152 more for 2,000.
Davis gets a nice block from tight end Dwayne Carswell, and is tackled eventually by Anthony Simmons, and a gain of 7. Busy day in the NFL. Right now, let's go to CBS in New York and Jim Nance.
That running game paired with Jake Plummer has put Arizona's offense right up there.
Second down 3 from the 42. Davis spins under the grass for Springs and continues to move up to the 50-yard line. He picks up a first down, a gain of 8. Bellamy with the stop. What a run.
Oh, boy, is this fun to watch right here. Needs 170 when he came into this ball game. Now less than 150. Spins, fights his way through. The offensive line gets him started, but he makes most of that on himself. Let me tell you, when you enter a game like this, and you know one of your running backs needs X number of yards, the entire offensive line bonds together. They want that running record for them as much as they do for the running back.
He's got 33 yards now from the 51st and 10. Davis again. Davis breaking tackles. Davis inside the 30. 21-yard gain.
Terrell Davis is playing with a sore ribs and a little bit of a sore back right here. You can see the good solid block. Everybody just stays on their blocks, giving him a chance to get out into the open field. Even wide receivers blocking down the field. That was Rod Smith way down the field that time. You know, a year ago this time, it was Barry Sanders who needed 131 yards against the New York Jets in the last week. He ripped off 184 to break 2,000. And that's what the goal is, of course, here for Terrell Davis and the Denver offense.
On the 29, first and 10. Elway had the ball batted, deflected, and incomplete at the 30-yard line. That's the second batted ball by the Seattle defensive line on an Elway throw today.
Well, one thing John Elway does, as great a player as he is the ball, when his motion starts, the ball goes down and then up. Now watch his arm motion. Just watch right here. Watch the ball go down and see the arm goes down and then up as opposed to coming straight up. Well, if you can study him long enough and watch when the ball starts to go down, see it go down before it goes up, that's when you time your jump. Every quarterback has some little signal that he sends, and that's John's.
Cortez Kennedy got that one. Second down and 10. Hand off to Davis. Cuts outside. Got a block from Jones. So a first down. And a flag is down at the 28.
And it looked like to me that this is Tony Jones on Philip Daniels. They're going to bring it back, so we know it's a holding against somebody. Tony Jones, the left tackle, against Philip Daniels, defensive
Holding.
end.
77 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
We just saw Arizona score their opening touchdown here. This is what the NFC playoff picture looks like. Arizona or Tampa Bay. Now, if Arizona loses and the New York Giants win, Tampa Bay would go to the playoffs against Dallas. Green Bay, San Francisco. That one's a little bit convoluted. Got to find out what happens later today to see who plays there. But we'll play at Dallas or at Green Bay or at San Francisco, depending on the wins and losses.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Seattle 7-0 over Denver. You're watching the NFL on CBS. I had the Denver Broncos after one quarter.
Well, the Broncos are the best in the National Football League. They scored 144 first quarter points. Nobody's done as well. but the Seattle Seahawks have come to play today.
We begin the second quarter with the second down and 20 from the Seattle 39. Elway in the shotgun, blitzes on, good block by Jones, buys Elway time, throws a pass, broken tackle by Davis. He fumbles the ball and it's loose and recovered by Seattle. And rookie Deshaun Miles. The first turnover of the game. Seattle's defense stops the Denver roll, and Seattle's got it back.
Now he's good. Terrell Davis is going to slip out into the flat right here. He's a secondary receiver. The zone defense stops him. On the run, he loses the ball.
Timeout. Erickson had to make the playoffs in order to keep his job. They were knocked out last week, so speculation has started to pick up again.
Well, one thing's sure, the football team will play for this guy. They've won 3 of their last 4. Only the Jet lost in the last 4 games.
So after the Terrell Davis fumble, Kitten on 1st and 10, winds up, guns a pass, which is caught by Pritchard. He breaks a tackle and curls upfield to the 44-yard line, tackled by Romanowski. It's a gain of 19.
You know, the Seattle Dennis Erickson this season, it's a what if. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers, if that catch is made, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, add 1 victory to their game. Against the Oakland Raiders, they had multiple turnovers, 4 or 5 of them, just like this. If they play without those, that's 2 wins. And of course, the downpour in Kansas City takes away everybody's game plan. And of course, the Vinny Testaverde play a few weeks ago in New York. There's 3 or 4 football games they could add to the win column.
There was a fumble on the snap. Kitten went to a knee, picked it up. It'll be second down.
I think the point here is that Dennis Erickson has his team playing, and he's got players that are playing for him. That's always a sign of respect for the coach.
It should be noted, team president Bob Whitson has never publicly said the team had to make the playoffs for the coaches to keep their jobs.
No, it's been speculated, and that's just about it.
Shotgun spread formation. Second down and 10. Great time for Kitten. Look at the time he's got to throw. And fires it incomplete. Again, he goes for Galloway. Again, the pass is dropped. 3rd drop today by Galloway. Gordon was covering.
Now, this very year to see 2 rushers. That's all they're going to have. The Denver Broncos drop everybody out. But here you see it. 1, 2 rushers coming in. That's why Kitten has all this time. Look at all the blue shirts covering the downfield. Finally, he just has to rifle one in there and can't. The completion's not there. But I don't think you'll see Denver do that too much. That's a change-up defense. That's 2 against 5. Remember, those 5 offensive linemen aren't going anywhere.
That makes a difference. 3rd down and 10 from the 43. Kitten again with loads of time. There's a good block by Jones. That ball batted down by Keith Traylor, the ex-Green Bay Packer and Kansas City Chief. And so Seattle can't cash in on the Denver fumble, and they'll have to punt for a second time.
Now this time they bring 4. And look at the protection. John Kitten has as much time as the snap before when they only brought 2. Traylor, though, spinning around as he sees the scramble by Kitten up, knocks that one down and saves the completion. He had somebody open downfield.
Eagles to punt for a second time. George Coghill is deep back. And the catch at the 12 and out of bounds near the 15. Pushed out of bounds by reserve fullback Reggie Brown.
Good punt coverage. The ball's in the air long enough and plenty of people around it.
Ricky Waters with the touchdown run. The Seahawks by 7. Kevin Harlan from the 15, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Davis. Good block by Jones. Davis gets another block from Swift, and he's up to the 30-yard line. A hard-earned 15. Bellamy and Williams make the stop.
Tony Jones and Mark Schlereth on the left side. The ball's going to start out to the right. Now see him coming. He's going to bend back to the left. Solid block. See everybody stay on their blocks. Nobody blocks for a count and a half and then lets up. Way downfield. You see right there. That's Rod Smith, a wide receiver. All he does is practice catching the balls until game time, then he goes and blocks people.
Shanahan told us he thought the offense could rally around Terrell Davis today. 1st and 10. Wonderful time for Elway. Now moves up, goes across the middle. Incomplete, flag thrown, 45-yard line. Shannon Sharp and Bellamy were in the vicinity battle.
They're going to call it against Bellamy. At least Bellamy thinks they're going to call it against him. And Jay Bellamy pleading his case. Very physical football player.
20 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see what you're getting into here. Shannon Sharp is the guy that Bellamy was called for holding. Shannon Sharp is one of those guys that won't let you forget it. Next time you go, he runs around and Bellamy's on him one-on-one. He's a strong safety. He's going to remind him of that hold. And then you start getting the defensive player, Bellamy in this case, to maybe forget his game plan a little bit.
And Bellamy has just been tagged with his second penalty today. Hand off to Davis. Elway threw a block on the weak side. It's a gain of 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, John Elway, 38 years old. He's going to make the handoff. Now, just watch John Elway, number 7. He makes the handoff. See him come back for Bellamy right here. And he actually throws the block. He's not just standing there daring the guy to come on down the field. He initiates the block. I think they want to win number 14 today.
This is an offense, though, Sam White, which has scored just 2 touchdowns in 2 games.
Well, they clearly, the last few weeks, have fallen off their pace. They were averaging 33 points a game until the last 2 weeks.
Second down and 8. Here comes Sinclair. Elway gets it away. Caught by tight end Shannon Sharp. He is the leading receiving tight end in terms of yards and receptions through the 90s. He'll be close to a first down. The Jets win. Tampa Bay demolishing Cincinnati. As you see scores from New York and Baltimore. It's a win of what might be the last game for Ted Marchibroda.
Yeah, Ted's done a good job there, and he's leaving a good football team for somebody else if it is his last game. We don't want to speculate on a change because before they happen, but there's a lot of conversation around the league about several coaches are being changed this year, probably as many as 5, maybe 6 or 7.
The short pass, good for a first down. McCaffrey in motion. Fake handoff to LaBelle. Great time for Elway. Great block thrown by Neal. The pass caught by McCaffrey to the Seattle 33. Tackled by Williams, a gain of 22. And McCaffrey had to dance to get free, but Elway had the time to find him.
Here's McCaffrey. He's going to go up against Sean Springs, number 24. Now, John Elway should have thrown the ball by now. Sean Springs is saying it's got to be over now. As he turns around, though, Ed McCaffrey has done the old scramble drill. They've practiced this one, you can bet, hundreds of times. When time passes and you're on the sideline, run right back down the sideline.
And McCaffrey going to his first Pro Bowl.
He's had a big year.
First down at the 33. Elway right to work on first down. Got a block going long. He's got a receiver. Smith, touchdown.
Safety blitz coming from here. That's Jay Bellamy. So he knows he's got man-on-man on the backside. Willie Williams one-on-one. Just flat gets beat. Beautiful catch over the top. Let me tell you, that's a tough catch because you lose sight of the ball just as the ball arrives because of the helmet coming back over your forehead.
Willie Williams was beaten twice last week by Peyton Manning and the Colts in the Kingdom. Elam with the extra try. We're in the hole, and we are tied at Mile High.
Look at their outreach, the hands, all hands catch, and never lose the stride.
33-yard touchdown pass by Elway. Elway throws his 19th touchdown pass. That's warmed the fans here at Sold Out Mile High for the 229th consecutive game. Ron Smith, a 33-yard touchdown pass. Elway perfect on the drive, 3 of 3. And the subsequent kickoff by Elam, retrieved at the goal line by Broussard, who returned to kickoff earlier today for 56 yards, breaking tackles, and he's up to the 33. He's exciting. One of the best in the business, Steve Broussard. Tackle made by linebacker Keith Burns. Coming up in the NASDAQ Amex halftime report, Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, Mike Lombardi. With the scores and highlights and playoff updates up today, that's all coming up next on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Now young John Kitna tied at 7.
Now we get a chance to see him respond in a tough place to play. The crowd is going to be loud now.
On the 35, the pitch out goes to Waters. A lead block by Strong. He tries to cut the corner. Ricky Waters does. And he picks up 3. He's over 1,000 yards on the season. He's done it with 3 different teams, an NFL record. John Kitna comes in today, like we said before, is one of the lowest paid starting quarterbacks in the league.
Well, he's playing this year for $196,000. The exclusive rights to John Kitna belong to the Seattle Seahawks, which means that next year they only have to pay him $375,000. Obviously, they're not going to do that. They're negotiating. They don't want this guy out on the free agent market anytime soon, especially with the Cleveland Browns coming to town.
Good point. 2nd down and 7. The pitch out to Waters. Shooting through. Ray Crockett with a great tackle.
Ray Crockett. Now there, how about this? Here's a defensive back that has 11.5 career sacks. He's going to come right up and just seal it right there. His job is contained. He's supposed to make sure that if the ball comes his way, he forces everything back inside or make the tackle. He chose the latter option that time.
When the Broncos won the Super Bowl last year, he was a free agent. He was a priority to be signed by this team. It's 3rd and 10, and the noise building at Mile High from the 35. Kitna with time, throws a pass. It's caught by Galloway, but short of a first down by 3 yards. He's to the 41, had to get near the 45, and they got a punt again.
And the Denver Broncos came with that 2-man rush again. It's just Alfred Williams and Harold Hasselbeck are the only 2 rushers. They drop everybody out, and it works for them 2 for 2. You know, as a quarterback, you're used to seeing X number of players in defending the pass. And when you see all of them back there, 9 out of 11, hard to find somebody open.
Fiegels sends up a rocket, which will be fair caught by the backpedaling Coghill at the 11. 48-yard punt. Fiegels again with a nice boost. John Kitna wears number 7 because he grew up admiring John Elway. He's now tied with him. It's been a history-making day for the great running back Terrell Davis.
Well, he's had a terrific year, and of course today just puts him in the #1 lead for this year in rushing, but also puts him in some pretty good company there. Eric Dickerson, Sanders, Simpson, Campbell. Earl Campbell didn't gain the 2,000, but he certainly had a great year then. But Terrell Davis has a real shot at it here because John Elway and company is going to feed him the ball, and that offensive line, you can bet, want him to get it.
1st and 10 handoff from the 11-yard line. It goes to Terrell Davis, and he picks up about 2 yards, bringing up 2nd down and 8.
You know, it's interesting to watch an offensive line before the game. They come out before the game about an hour and a half, 2 hours before, and they call it grazing. They just walk around, they kick the dirt, they look around, they start to put their thoughts together. It's a unit within a unit. They've got to make all those calls, and when they've got something at stake like Terrell Davis's record right here, they play for it.
2nd down, 8 outside it goes. Rod Smith. He fought for the first down. He's got the first down. Working on Willie Williams, a gain of 10.
The AFC, the playoff seeds here. Denver, of course, #1. The New York Jets, who are, believe me, they're chasing the Denver Broncos right now, playing their best football of the year. Jacksonville, of course, is having all kinds of trouble with injuries, and Miami, Buffalo, New England will be the wild card seeds.
1st and 10. Davis again. Slithers for a gain of 5. Next Sunday, playoff action begins with an AFC wildcard game here on CBS. Patriots will travel to Jacksonville to face the AFC Central champion Jaguars. Next Sunday, right here on CBS.
You know, Jacksonville has so many injuries, right? Of course, Mark Brunell being the key one, his buddy Tony Baselli. But New England did not play very well today, so they've got to regroup next week as well.
2nd down and 5. Davis stood up and belted by Miles, and a gain of 4.
And you can see the trend right here to feed the ball to Terrell Davis, pound away at the Seattle Seahawks. A good defensive unit right here, solid football players. I mean, we were talking to Michael Sinclair and Sam Adams last night. Kevin, you and I had a chance to spend some time when they said, look, we're not going to come out here and get embarrassed. Our family's watching us play. Nobody wants to go out and get their fannies kicked. We're going to play hard. And they were talking about personal pride, but it also reflects their respect for their coach. And a guy like Mike Shanahan, of course, has to try to recover some of the what he calls the edge that is lost once you clinch. And the games after you have clinched are meaningless in a lot of ways. You're not playing to gain any further advantage. And so it's tough mentally and emotionally to keep that edge.
Shanahan became the highest paid coach in the NFL in August. And it was good they passed that stadium bill here in Colorado, and specifically Denver, because Pat Bowlen said, if there's no new stadium, I've got to sell the team. And Shanahan's contract is directly tied to owner Pat Bowlen.
I think this team's going to be in Denver a long time.
It's 3rd and 1. Davis with the block from Griffith. And I think he's shy of the first down.
He'll be on the spot. Forward motion. Same play they ran earlier with John Elway being the backside blocker. That time the flow was quick because of the short yardage situation. They're going to have to bring it out and measure it one more time. You know, John Elway earlier this week on Wednesday, they've lost 2 ball games now, won 13 in a row. John Elway being the leader. They break up and they go to their offensive and defensive meetings, and he kind of pulls and holds court a little bit with the offensive guys and says, look, we're just playing tight. The tighter we play, the harder we try, the worse we play. Let's relax, go back to our original methods of having fun, playing loose, and start winning some football games. And I was very interested to hear Mike Shanahan's response. You know, Elway doesn't say much, he said, but when he talks, everybody is listening.
It almost makes you wonder if they would have lost earlier in the season, would it have affected their month of December the way it's been affected, all the pressure being 13-0?
Well, I tell you, Minnesota probably didn't have the same pressure that the Denver Broncos had. They kind of were in the draft. Joe Gibbs would love me to say that, in the draft. But Minnesota, you know, because Tampa Bay beat them earlier, they weren't measuring up against that perfect year. So there was more pressure, more emotional and mental drain on this team, especially coming off of a Super Bowl year. I can tell you, coming off a Super Bowl year, everybody's gunning for you.
Tom Ruin is second in the NFL in punting. Sends this one deep. And Joseph back at his 8-yard line, the former college quarterback at McNeese State, breaking tackles, and he's out to the 28. Tackled by Keith Burns again, the leading special teamer for Denver.
In the AFC, there are certain players that just have an impact. Terrell Davis for the Denver Broncos, no question about it. He's the leader of this football team on the ground, especially Vinny Testaverde having almost a perfect season. And Fred Taylor, the rookie for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then Zach Thomas, the defensive star of a no-name defense in Miami. And then Drew Bledsoe. They need him healthy, get that hand ready to go. And Bruce Smith in Buffalo. You know, each of those playoff teams have a key guy. And those are some of them.
Seattle gets it back from the 28, 1st and 10. Waters brought down by middle linebacker Glenn Cadrez. Alan Aldridge used to fill that slot, but he left as a free agent to Detroit, and Cadrez fills the slot, which is an interesting thing about Mike Shanahan. The Broncos have lost just 2 starters. The aforementioned Alan Aldridge to Detroit and guard Brian Habib, who went as a free agent to Seattle. But Shanahan notorious for signing and keeping the players he wants.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But with the Cleveland Browns coming into the 1999 season, signing free agents is crucial for everybody.
2nd down 11. Pocket crumbles. Kitna throws. It's incomplete. May have been tapped by Mobley on a pass intended for running back Ricky Waters.
Good man-to-man coverage down the field. That's what John Kitna gives this ball club, though. He gives them a little mobility. Warren Moon, a terrific career, but doesn't have the mobility at this stage of it that John Kitna does. I think still Warren Moon can really help somebody somewhere. But you can see it move, and that ball was well thrown. Ricky Waters should have caught it. Warren Moon's could next year really help a lot of football teams who would need either a backup or a mentor kind of a quarterback, or somebody to step in for 1 year while they get somebody else ready.
He may not be back next year. He counts $5 million against the cap. 3rd and 11. Kitna chased and caught time by Alfred Williams.
You see Alfred Williams with his little post-sack action there, choreographed right off of downtown New York somewhere. John Kitna can only elude the rush for so long. You know, it used to be when you started doing this, they were penalize you, but the league is suddenly not a point of emphasis anymore, as we see.
So after the defense gets their first sack in 8 quarters for the Broncos, the kick by Fiegels is out of bounds. Now the question is where they'll mark it out at the 42-yard line, which is disappointing to Fiegels.
The NFC has their impact players as well. Randy Moss, what a terrific rookie. Going to be fun watching him over the years. Jamal Anderson of the Atlanta Falcons, I think, maybe the most valuable player in the league. And Troy Aikman, the Dallas Cowboys, they need his leadership right now. Garrison Hurst of the San Francisco 49ers has really come on the scene. And, of course, a favorite of everybody, whether you're a Packer fan or not, Reggie White and Jake Plummer. Boy, is he going to be fun as well.
And Rich. 1st and 10. Deep drop back by Elway. Got a good block by Swain. Now he's brought down. Philip Daniels with his 2nd sack today. The Seahawks came in as the number 2 defense in the league in sacks. They've now got 53.
Now, this is another one of those plenty of protection throws. Nothing happening downfield. Elway just runs out of time trying to buy some more time. Philip Daniels in pursuit. Now, this is a football team that is still playing hard. When you see a defensive line pursuing an elusive quarterback like Elway as long as they are, Philip Daniels, one of the stalwarts on that team. It's a credit to this Seattle team.
4 wide receivers. 2nd down 19 for Elway. Guns a pass, which is caught by tight end Shannon Sharp. And a great catch it is. His 60th of the year. He beat Willie Williams. It's a gain of 16 yards.
John Elway playing with a hip flexor now. He's got a little bit of problem when you stride into the ball, and you need that stride to throw one like this. Online, look at that. That's a matter of, you talk about a game of inches. That's a game of inches, and also the range and the reach that Shannon Sharp has helps that, but John Elway can still put the ball inside of a dime.
It's 3rd and 5 from the 47. Elway with time, goes again to Sharp. He's got the 1st down, and he's deep into Seattle territory at the 36. Tackled by Jay Bellamy. Another gain of 16 yards on the heels of a 16-yard gain before to Sharp.
Shannon Sharp looked like he hurt his back a little bit that time. He just releases from the right side, turns to the outside in a zone defense. As he comes down hard right there, he got up with both hands on his back. Like he twisted it a little bit. You see him on the sideline now getting some attention.
Injuries were not a problem for this team up until a couple weeks ago.
Doesn't take long for him to come, though.
1st and 10. Davis, a block from Jones and Griffith. And rookie Anthony Simmons there to make the tackle as Philadelphia has taken a 4-point lead at halftime on the New York Giants. Giants were still alive in the playoff race coming into today.
That's right. The Arizona game, of course, affects that one. If Arizona wins and... Well, if Arizona wins, they're in. If Arizona loses and the Giants win, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the playoff.
And that's what Tampa Bay did today, whitewashing Cincinnati.
And that eliminated the Giants from the playoffs. They can still affect who goes, Arizona or Tampa.
2nd down and 12 from the Seattle 38. McCaffrey in motion. Elway again throws outside, caught by fullback Howard Griffith, who is one of the true leaders on this team. Tackled by Simmons. It's a gain of 5.
Good, solid bull rush up the middle, but couldn't get there in time.
We've reached the 2-minute warning.
The ball now against a team that leads the league with 51 sacks. They had 42 last year. They've sacked Elway 16 times in the last 6 ball games. Seattle has 41 takeaways, which leads the league, and 24 interceptions. Only Miami has more.
It's 3rd and long, 6. They bring the blitz. There goes a flag pass, deflected and caught on the carom at the 20-yard line. Grabbed by Rod Smith. 13-yard gain, but let's see what that flag is about as Sam Adams again tapped an Elway pass. It's the 3rd time they've done it today. This one against the Seahawks.
Seahawks were coming with a blitz. They were trying to time up.
Defense penalty is declined. 1st down.
They were trying to time up the snap count, and Elway outsmarted them and held the count a little bit. And as soon as they were in the neutral zone, he snapped the ball. That gave Elway a free throw. He let it go, and Rod Smith came up with a big catch.
Inside the 20, 1st and 10. Elway with the handoff to Davis. And spins for a couple before he is gobbled up by Matt LaBouncy. 2nd down.
Terrell Davis going to keep getting the ball. Elway's going to use the little play action as he has. A little bit of out of pocket where they call it a naked or a bootleg. Naked me. Don't look at me that way.
No.
There's a certain play that way.
I'm waiting for the explanation.
You fake the run one way and you're out. Roll out the other way and nobody's blocking. You're out there all alone.
Thank you. Elway has hit 9 consecutive passes. 2nd down and 8. He's going to his 2nd receiver in the end zone for Smith. incomplete, covered by Joseph and Fred Thomas.
Just terrific inside battling going on. You see the defensive line, all kinds of stunts. The offensive line of the Denver Broncos doing a great job of switching off, giving Elway time to find a late Rod Smith. He goes up with one hand. Boy, I used to tell the guys, if you can get one hand on it, you take the other one up there. There are very rare occasions that you gain anything with just one arm reaching out.
Elway will burn his second timeout, one remaining with 1:06 to play here in the first half. Ricky Watters began the game with the touchdown run of 4 yards, then a 33-yard touchdown pass by John Elway to Rod Smith. And coming up in the NASDAQ Amex halftime report, join Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brett Jones, and Mike Lombardi with scores, highlights, and the playoff update. All coming up in the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Green Bay won today in the NFC. We'll talk about the NFC in a second. But if San Francisco wins, the Packers go to San Francisco. If San Francisco loses against the Rams, then they go to Green Bay.
Okay, can you say that again just real fast for me so I can just... It'll be on the air as we finish this ball game when it clears all up.
By the way, San Francisco leading the Rams 10-7. The Jets, Buffalo, and Atlanta all winners today. Third and a long 8 on the Seattle 18. Elway looks at his 4 wide receivers to the end zone. He's got a receiver. Shannon Sharp, touchdown.
Seattle came with an all-out blitz. Everybody's coming except cover people. Jay Bellamy just couldn't stay with Shannon Sharp. 101 on a straight up the field move. There was no faking involved, just pure speed coming straight up the field. Here's Sharp now. He's going to go straight up the field. Jay Bellamy trying to stay with him. I think Jay thinks the ball has to be thrown early. It wasn't thrown that quick. Beautiful play by the Denver Broncos.
Extra point now by Elam is up and away. That was a drive authored by Shannon Sharp with consecutive catches of 16 yards and 16 yards, and then a 17-yard touchdown pass from Elway. Elway his second touchdown throw, and Denver's got their first lead today.
That's why he's going to the 7th Pro Bowl of his career and leads all tight ends in the National Football League in receiving yards. He's really a large wide receiver that they line up in what's called the tight end position because he's really a receiver.
Sunday he will be in camp. Monday on CBS. Feeling a little bloated from the holidays? Lose pounds and gain laughs when Kevin James and Jerry Stiller star in The King of Queens. That's tomorrow on America's Address, CBS.
Seattle Seahawks have battled this entire half. They trail only 14-7. They're right in this ball game now. With a minute to go, they've got a chance maybe to get back on the board before the half, but at worst, or at least they don't want to do anything foolish to give Denver a chance to push this lead wide open right now. Just stay within 7 or do better if you can.
Line drive kickoff by Elam. On a bounce taken by reserve fullback Reggie Brown, and wisely just falls on it near the 20-yard line. Well, we told you we'd give you the NFC playoff look, and here it comes.
Minnesota, these are seeds, really, for playoff seeds. Minnesota #1, of course, with 14-1 record. Atlanta with a terrific year. Wishing Dan Reeves the best in his recovery from heart surgery. Dallas has clinched. I don't know that if they'd have been in any other division other than the NFC East, if they would have won that division. San Francisco, Green Bay, of course, and then the only undecided spot, Arizona or Tampa Bay.
Dallas plays tonight against the Redskins. Hitting on 1st and 10. He got a block, and he throws it downfield, and it's caught on a curl at the 39-yard line by Joey Galloway. A gain of 18. He beat quarterback Ray Crockett.
A lot of confidence in a young quarterback to...
Trevor Price may have touched that pass by John Kitna. We've seen Elway And 3 of his passes batted down at the line of scrimmage today already. That's the first for Kitna.
You see him talking to the referee right there. What he's saying is, I was looking for you on that long pass 2 plays ago. When I throw a ball down the field, I want to be able to turn right to you and call timeout immediately. And I turned around and you weren't there. Well, of course, he's saying it's not my job to be standing right next to you. I've got to follow the ball, too.
What presence of mind for a kid starting his 6th game.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Call it quick to the nearest official.
2nd down and 10. Kitna again with time. Fires a pass high and whistles over the head of Joey Galloway, who is covered by a thicket of Bronco defenders. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Sean Kitna has a very, very strong arm, as we have seen here. He was 42 of 51 in the preseason. I got a chance to see him play against Cincinnati in the preseason, and he's very impressive because he's got all the shots. He's 9 for 16 today, but he's got all the layoff throws as well as the online throws down the field.
And he's from tiny Central Washington, an NAIA school.
Wouldn't have been found if the nephew of Dennis Erickson had been playing on that ball club.
It's 3rd and 10 for Kitna. Again given great time. Winds up, throws. It's deflected and intercepted. Picked off by linebacker Glenn Catrez after it ricocheted off the palms of a defensive back, Darian Gordon. Kitna picked off the first Seattle turnover, and the Broncos have 11 seconds with which to work and 1 timeout.
One thing you didn't want to have happen right here, give them any time at all. Plenty of time to find an open receiver, but more defenders than rushers, again, is the strategy of the Denver Broncos. And this is a forced ball. No question about it. He should not have thrown that ball. But when you're looking at more defenders than you're used to, sometimes you feel like there's got to be an opening because you've got time to throw it. Now, there's 11 seconds left. All they need is about 10 yards, and they're looking at another long field goal.
Yeah, there's field goal range, and then there's Jason Elam field goal range.
He's already got one, 63 yards this year.
From the 50 and 4 receivers platooned. It's 1st and 10 for Elway in the shotgun. Winds up, throws a pass. Good catch made by Rod Smith. He's to the 36. Elway takes a timeout with 6 seconds remaining in the half, and here comes the aforementioned Jason Elam.
Remember, I was talking a minute ago about John Kitna calling timeout real quick. Elway did it and got a chance for Elam to go after another field goal, his longest 63 yards back in October. There it is. Everyone waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and nearly a record. Tom Dempsey, New Orleans Saints, of course, right there with him.
There is wind. It seems to be more of a breeze in the face of Elam. He missed one last week in Miami. He's already missed one today from 42 yards away. This from 55 yards.
If he misses, he usually misses to the left.
Elam puts it up, and it is off the upright.
And it's the upright to his left. Whenever you're kicking him long, you pull just a little bit. If you're going to miss, that's where it goes.
He's missed 2 in a row and 3 in the last 2 games. That's the end of the first half with the score. Broncos 14, Seattle 7. Elway. Vaughn Hebron will take it a couple yards deep in the end zone. Around the wedge, and he breaks a tackle and then bangs off bodies up to the 26. And that's where we'll see Denver begin it with Mike Kroll, the former Bronco, making the tackle. And here's John Elway, 19 of 17 with the pick, 96 yards.
Going up against a defense here in Seattle that's had a strong year. We mentioned earlier, 41 takeaways, 24 interceptions coming into this ball game. Only Miami has done better with 29. 51 sacks coming into this game. They sacked John Elway twice in the first half. John Elway, on the other hand, has always had big days against the Seattle Seahawks.
On the 26, 1st down and 10. It's Davis. Up the middle he goes. Wrapped up by rookie linebacker Anthony Simmons, picking up 4.
The NFC playoff picture looks like this as we look at it one more time. The number 3 seed will host either Arizona or Tampa Bay. If Arizona wins, they go to Dallas. If they lose, Tampa Bay will go to Dallas. And as we look down here, San Francisco or Green Bay will host the other team, depending on who wins and loses today.
From the 30, 2nd down and 6. Elway gets a block from Davis. Fires a pass across the middle, caught by McCaffrey. who's having a career year. He'll be close to a first down. McCaffrey, worried about his speed in the offseason, hired a track coach to make him faster.
And he gained, in doing so, he gained over 1,000 yards, as did Rod Smith, his counterpart on the other side. But McCaffrey, you know, a Stanford guy throwing to a Stanford guy. You know there's something going on there. But he's one of those guys that not only gets open because he's got speed and good hands, he's got good sense of defense, too. He finds the open holes in the zones.
Sinclair and Deshaun Miles wrap up Davis after a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7.
So look at the Minnesota Vikings with the best record in football here. Their best punch, their explosive offense, and, of course, the history. Gary Anderson, the automatic 35 for 35 field goals. The
field all the way. Second down and 7. Deep drop for Elway. Rolling out of the pocket. Has to get to the 47. Breaks a tackle from Deshaun Miles. He dives for the first down to the Seattle 49. He picks up 11. And on the previous play, they have officially given 3 yards to Davis, the all-time leading Denver Bronco rusher, breaking the record of Floyd Little.
Well, this is another run, not quite like Terrell Davis would do it, but he stepped up into the pocket. That's when everything opened up for him. Before, that scares me as a former coach, because if he already got a hip flexor, which is much like a growing muscle, you can't kind of reach one leg over the other with that hip flexor. A run like that is where that thing pulls again.
First and 10 from the 49. Handoff to Derek Lavelle. Guy who used to play for Seattle, made the team as a rookie free agent back in the 90s season. Picks up 2 right there. The great thing about Lavelle and the depth of the Bronco running backs is that on most teams he would start.
Well, they've got depth here. One of the reasons they have depth here is free agents like to come to Denver. And the reason they like to come to Denver and other teams that are winning is they got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. You ask free agents that are available around the league. They like to go to teams that have a chance to win big.
Lavelle, Bill Romanowski, Ed McCaffrey, Howard Griffith, Keith Traylor, Neil Smith, just some of the free agents reeled in here to Denver. Second down and 8. More time for Elway. A pass to McCaffrey, lassoed as he was working on quarterback Fred Thomas. Short of the first down by a yard. Great catch nonetheless, gaining 7.
McCaffrey just caught 6'5", Fred Thomas at 5'9", 101 outside. They brought the blitz. Here's the ball thrown high, perfectly thrown, because the coverage is there. There's nothing wrong with this coverage. The ball is just placed where Fred Thomas can't get there. Thomas breaks. He's there with the ball, just over his outstretched hands and into the 6'5" reach of Ed McCaffrey.
And going to his first Pro Bowl. It's 3rd and 1 inside the 40. Davis breaks a tackle. Davis gets a back from McCaffrey and has the first down. Tumbling to the 35. He picks up 5.
And the second best record in the NFC belongs to the Atlanta Falcons. And let's see what they've got going into the playoffs. Their best punch, Jamal Anderson. I think he may be
from the 35. Davis sent with Cortez Kennedy riding him down after a gain of 5 to the 30.
The Dallas Cowboys go into the playoffs as
the thought is Davis comes off after being awarded the game ball and becoming the Broncos' all-time leading rusher. 99 yards today. Second down and 5. Elway rolls out of the pocket, throws by Sinclair, hits Shannon Sharp, stiff arms his way into Chad Brown to the 19-yard line.
And the Denver Broncos are reading the strategy of Seattle. Seattle is trying to stop the run, expecting the run. They fake the little toss. This is that naked I talked about. Notice there's nobody there but John Elway and Shannon Sharp. Chad Brown has to peel with Sharp, but he's also got to respect the possibility that John Elway could run the ball. Nice little execution of something they probably run about 500 times.
Yeah, no quarterback in the history of the NFL has run the ball more than John Elway. 10th play of the drive, first down. Elway the pump fake, and he's got Smith to the 2, first and goal. He beat Willie Williams again. It's a gain of 17.
Willie Williams was reading the slant, or about a 3-step, and then a sharp break to the inside. It was designed, and John Elway pumps just as Willie Williams breaks, and then right in behind it, Rod Smith goes back behind. Safety can't get over fast enough. That's Darrell Williams. So between Willie Williams and Darrell Williams, Rod Smith has the football.
Smith with 7 catches. First and goal from the 2. Davis is in. Fake handoff by Elway. Davis is open. Touchdown.
Token fake. Shannon Sharp deep in the corner. You see Sharp here, and here in the flat is Terrell Davis. Coverage is there. It's just soft. You can't have soft coverage on the goal line. You can't give him anything.
Elam will try to put it up and in, and he does. John Elway has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Terrell Davis grabs that, his second of the year. It's fair to say the Broncos are back in business. Here, that's what Davis is doing as he just caught the touchdown pass. The line drive kick by Elam on the 19-yard line, picked up by Reggie Brown, and head over heels he is sent to the 29. Whacked by Derek LaVille. John Elway just Denver with Sam White, Kevin Harlan. With Mile High, Seattle is staggering. 1st and 10 from the 29. Kitna rush, throws down the sideline. It's caught by Pritchard at the 47. Lead of 19. Seahawks needed that play in the biggest of ways.
Beautiful fake. The ball's going to come fake here, and he's going to drop straight back behind the pocket. Now look at Pritchard back into this corner. He's going to find an open spot. That ball is not thrown to the receiver. It's thrown to an area. It's the job of the receiver to get there on a timed throw after the fake.
Pritchard used to play for Denver.
Willing center there too, I imagine.
Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers for Kitna with the first down. Short drop, quick throw. Intercepted and tripped by Mobley after it went right through the hands of Pritchard. Right now, let's take a look at the CBS Sportsline question of the week. Who? Second down. 2nd down and 10. Good block by Waters. Outside it goes to fullback Max Strong, who makes just his 8th catch of the season, knocked out of bounds by tackle Harold Hasselbeck. And close to
$1.5 million. Cleveland, of course, we'll talk about it in a minute, is going to have most of the money because they've got no carryover cap.
3rd and 1, Waters. Knocked down by Mobley, dives close to the 4.
One expansion team, there aren't as many free agents available.
I think people and coaches now like the fact they want to keep the guys they know about as opposed to taking a chance on a guy they've never had before.
Absolutely. Not only do they know their football ability, they know what they're made of in that locker room and off the field.
4th down on the length of the football. Handoff, Waters, he's got the first down, slicing his way to the 40-yard line. Tackled by Glenn Contreras. A big first down and a nice gamble by Dennis Erickson.
Well, it was a gamble he had to take. Dennis Erickson knew that they needed to get back into the ball game right now with 6.5 left. This football team has fought for him. Last week came from behind against the Colts.
And down long 3, and they blow that one dead before it has a chance to go.
Someone in the interior line moved.
Ball start. 66 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Pete Kendall, the left guard, who calls all the protections and the plays up at the line of scrimmage. You know, when you break the huddle, you go to the line of scrimmage, the quarterback will have called a run or a pass, and then the offensive line, once they see the defensive front, they'll make their individual calls. Pete Kendall starts that out.
It's only the 4th penalty the entire game.
Denver played against Miami last week. They didn't commit a single penalty.
The Dolphins are right. 2nd down and 8. Pocket troubles. Kitna cuts away, and now he's put down. He is sacked by... It's 3rd and 13 from the shotgun. Kitna. He's got the tight end for you, but he's going to go deep and attack the fingertips of linebacker Bill Romanowski. And a pass intended deep downfield for Brian Blades, and his tight end...
Didn't look pretty, but boy, is that an effective punt. It's toward the sideline. The ball's not in the air very long.
From CBS Sports.
Well, it would appear the defending Super Bowl champion Broncos are going to rally around the 2,000-yard attempt by Terrell Davis. He's got 99 coming into this drive. Ironically enough, he's been held to less than 100 yards in 3 of the last 4 games.
And we were told directly by Michael Sinclair and Sam Adams last night that they didn't want their name associated with him breaking that record. So we got a real matchup going here.
from the 12, and movement, they stop that play.
But you can bet Denver's job now is going to be to feed him the ball, and Seattle knows that as well.
74 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Second Bronco penalty today.
Harry Swain is trying to get off the ball. Probably a quick count. And when you get a quick count, sometimes even a silent count. Silent count means that the quarterback, once he gets under center, just kind of nudges the center and the ball comes up and everyone reacts to the ball. Tries to anticipate that snap count. That's when you get those kind of penalties.
It's 1st and 15. Elway hands off to Davis. Good cut inside, and then he trips. Oh, Darrell Williams just kind of made the obligatory tap. This is Davis's 31st career 100-yard game, his 11th of this season.
And here's the strategy going on. 8 men are around the ball for the Seattle Seahawks. They're trying to fill gaps. Michael Sinclair last night said, here's how you stop them. Everybody fills the gap, but what Terrell Davis does is he makes you leave your gap with his moves. He baits you into the gap and then peels back or breaks to the outside.
With that run, Davis has just passed Earl Campbell for the 4th best year ever by a running back. He breaks a tackle at Sinclair. He breaks a tackle at Willie Williams. And he runs up to the 26 in game 6.
And boy, you can sense the crowd knows what's going on right now, that they're looking at what may be another 2,000-yard year by a running back.
We're watching history. So he's just passed Earl Campbell for the 4th best running season ever in the NFL.
Dickerson, Sanders, and O.J. Simpson with 2,000. And Terrell Davis, as you mentioned, just moves into the next. And, of course, the next place he goes is past O.J.
He's been taken out. Lavell's been put in. Elway on 1st and 10. Throws outside. Nice move. A nifty move by the elusive Derek Lavelle. To the 43. Again, this is back in. He gets the call. Blocked by Griffith. Davis was stymied by Riddick Parker and Chad Brown and picked. And he needs 43 to get to 2,000. They get 48. Hand off to Davis. Brought down by rookie linebacker Deshaun Miles.
And more. I'm getting a little tired. That mouthpiece doesn't leave you a lot of room to breathe either.
2nd down and 7. Elway throws. He's got Smith. It's incomplete as it ricochets off his palms. Sean Springs was covering. Near the end of the 3rd quarter here, let's go back to our CBS studios in New York with an update. Here, saw them a couple weeks ago against the Seattle defense. They were picked off 7 times.
Hey, don't you yell at Jim Nance.
It's 3rd down and 7. Elway fires a pass, and it's caught for a 1st down. Great catch made by Rod Smith. He's had a super day. He picks up 8, and they move the chains.
You can see everybody up around the line of scrimmage.
85 catches on the season. 1st and 10 from the 35. Davis, a block from Griffith, and there he goes. And again, he's brought down from behind. Chad Brown got him around the shoestrings.
You can close your eyes and just listen to the crowd to see what's going on. He was 1 step away that time. Chad Brown saved it.
He's zeroing in on 2,000. Elway has thrown 3. Handoff to Davis.
What does that mean? I mean,
I've seen your name on there many times.
yeah, I'm on that list. Don't go there list.
2nd down 6. A fake by Elway. Chased by Labouncy. Gets by Labouncy and throws a pass. It's caught by Rod Smith again. Fake handoff. Here goes Elway. Finds an opening. Gets by the defense. Look at the time he's got. Here comes Brown. There goes the pass. Flags are on the field. Goal from the 13-yard line. Davis is in. He gets the call. He gets a block from Jones, and he's inside the 10 with a gain of 3 and tackled on the play by Philip Daniels.
You know, if they choose to give the ball to Terrell Davis here, the effect of that penalty is it adds 5.
2nd down and goal. Good block by Davis on Sinclair, but here comes Sinclair, and he's on Elway, and down he goes. The pass is away. It's incomplete.
And you see the Seattle Seahawks now getting that 2nd win. They don't want any part of this record.
100-yard game.
And he owns not only this stadium, this town, this state. They love him here.
It's 3rd and goal from the 10. 15th play of the Denver drive. Elway on a block, has the receiver. It's caught by Willie Green at the 1. Now it's 4th down and goal inside the Seattle 1. Davis in the backfield. Fake handoff. Here comes Elway. Throwing a touchdown pass to Shannon Sharp.
You can kiss the horse. You and Shannon Sharp.
Elam with the extra point. Shannon Sharp has just passed Kellen Winslow for 3rd place all-time in receiving yards by a tight end. His 2nd touchdown catch of the day right there. The Broncos are looking at the Colts. He's going to throw the other way, where it's caught and run upfield by Robert Wilson, a reserve wide receiver.
They've got the edge back, Kevin.
From the 30, 1st and 10. John Kitna winds up. He's got Galloway, and he drops it again. Galloway, the yard line. Kitna hesitates and throws to Brian Blades.
Joey Galloway said he's the most important person to Joey Galloway's development. He's a valuable player.
It's 3rd and 10. Seattle has missed their last 6 third-down tries. Kitna throws, caught by Pritchett, and he's caught by the Broncos. Punt again. George Coghill on the 20-yard line. Got a block from Crockett and Torrey James, and he's up to the 20. Need 31 yards for 2,000.
And they've got 72 yards to go for a touchdown.
Davis gets the handoff, and Davis up the middle for a gain of 9 to the 38. Tackled on the play by Anthony Simmons.
And as the crowd, 33 more yards.
2nd down, 2. Davis again. He's got the 1st down, slithering to the 38.
I'll bet you Terrell Davis can't tell you what's... Clarence, Nalen, Neal, Swain, all of them have a part of it.
1st and 10. Davis again. He spurts down to the 48, picking up 4.
I'm guessing Raymond is sitting at home watching this one just as we are. And this crowd is on their feet.
2nd down and 6 from the 47. Davis breaks a tackle. He's got it. He's got 2,000. O.J. Simpson did it in 73. Eric Dickerson did it in 85. Barry Sanders in 97. And minutes ago, Terrell Davis accomplished the feat in 1998.
2,007 yards. Yes, they've all been working just as hard to give him a chance to break 2,000 yards.
LaVille is in the game from the 33, and LaVille gets the call. On 1st down, picks up a meager yard.
And I imagine we're going to see Terrell.
2nd down and 10. Elway deep with Smith in his target. Incomplete at the 6.
Terrell Davis could probably get his 30-minute sitcom right in between that lineup. Terrific show today, that's for sure.
It's 3rd and 10. They blitz Elway. with time for Smith again. He's got room to catch it.
They choose to go for it with Elway.
It's 4th and 10. There goes a flag. 3 down for Denver. Elway being chased by LaBounty. He gets away from Chad Brown. He's still on his feet and wisely runs out of bounds at the 31. Flags all. It's 4th down. From the shotgun, Elway fires a pass inside with his population is that a change. Goes down up to the 44-yard line for Kitna. Down the middle, Fourier again is open. He's inside the Denver 33. Here comes the blitz on Kitna. Throws it outside, and the attempt by Waters at the end of November. 2nd down 10 from the 32. Kitna moves up. Hit by Price. Throws a pass. Incomplete. There goes a flag. It's 1st and goal. From the 7. Kitna to the end zone. Caught for a touchdown by Pritchard. Burned him for 3 touchdowns. The secondary of the Broncos has been taking a lot of heat as the extra point is up and on. Hebron back at the 8. And tackled by Kerry Joseph, number 40. So now we're going to see Elway, although Bubby Brister was on the sideline warming up. Elway.
But stranger things have happened here with 5 minutes 49 seconds left. A quick turnover or a 3 and out, and Seattle could get right back in this one.
But Davis is not in. Lavelle is, and Lavelle gets the call. Detron Smith with the lead block. 2nd down and 9. Handoff goes again to Lavelle with nothing there. Tackle made by Deshaun Miles, a rookie.
And the transition for him when he decides to do it, and it'll be his decision. I don't think anybody's going to go to him.
It's 3rd and 10 for Elway. Winds up and throws a pass, and it's caught by Byron Chamberlain. His first catch. 2nd down 4. Smith in motion. Lavelle gets the handoff. Digs his way close to a 1st down. From behind to beat Peyton Manning and the Colts. It's 3rd and 1. Lavelle, Chad Brown comes through to make the tackle. He's had a
line discussion.
Here's Tom Ruin. Kerry Joseph is back from the 15 and up to the 27-yard line. Hit out of bounds. 1st and 10. Kitna. Good block thrown by Waters, but the flags are down, and so too is John Kitna with Darius Johnson rushing the ball. It's 1st and 10 for Kitna with the deep drop. It's incomplete. Romanowski was 2nd down and 10. Ever gone undefeated in the division. And with the win, they'll go to their 14th victory of the season. That would set a franchise record for one-year victories.
And I told Mike Shanahan yesterday, we were chatting about the ball game, and I said, I can't tell you how much I admire the job you've done. It's tougher winning the year after you've won a Super Bowl than any other time.
2nd and 5. Hasselback is chasing Kitna. So is Tanavasa. And the pass is caught at the 49 by Mike Pritchard. It's a gain of 12. And good for a 1st down. Leaping catch at the 33 over Atwater. He picks up 19 this year. Quick pass caught by Pritchard. Atwater with a nice open field tackle, and a flag is down. 2nd down and 4 from the 27 of the 2-minute warning. No timeouts for Kitna. Who will loop it deep, and it is caught. Great catch made by Brian Glenn. Can make a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 11. Kitna. Great time. Good block by Gray. Chased by Tanavasa. Throws to Fourier, and out of bounds he goes. With 2nd down and 10.
Bill Romanowski having a few words after that hit on Christian Fourier.
Flag is thrown. 2nd down, 15 with the penalty. Back at the 16-yard line. Kitna with time. Into the end zone. Pass is caught at the 1. What a catch made by Mike Pritchard. 15-yard grab. Deems May in motion. Ricky Waters. He wants to throw, and he does. Caught by Deems May. down by Jeff Beagles, the punter.
Seattle. Denver ready for it.
Onside kick by Peterson, caught beautifully by Byron Chamberlain. A reserve tight end.
That is toe on the line at the ball, and the ball's kicked.
Try it again, Peterson. This one is caught as well. Derek Lavelle. Now over Rice with San Francisco.
He's it's become a dominant receiver, but I'll tell you, the dominant guy on that field is Steve Young. He puts the ball right in the hands of the...
Terrell Davis and John Elway with big history-making days today. 4 Elway touchdown passes, 300 for his career. Only 2 others have done that, Tarkenton and Marino. And then Terrell Davis joins a group which includes O.J. Simpson, Eric Dickerson, and Barry Sanders. He becomes the 4th to gain 2,000 yards in one season.
Let me put a postscript to that. They're walking away from this game healthy. They didn't have a major injury in the ball game going into this playoffs. They get a week off. Mike Shanahan told me yesterday he's going to give them a couple of days off. They'll come back Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, take the weekend off, and then a normal week in 2 weeks getting ready for that first playoff game. They've got the bye while everybody else works.
Are the Broncos back on track?
They needed this win. I think they have regained the edge. They're back on track. They're now the #1 team in the AFC.
They win their 14th game of the season. That is an all-time Denver record. And the defending Super Bowl champion coach Mike Shanahan takes his team to the playoffs beginning January 9th here as they get a bye week 1. And you wonder about Dennis Erickson, what's going through his mind. Will he last with this team and be back next year?
Well, it's the nature of the game. If you don't win enough ball games, even if you're a good coach, things do happen. But a big win for Denver today.
Wild card next week on CBS. We'll pit the New England Patriots against Jacksonville. Coverage begins with Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Mike Lombardi, and Brent Jones from New York at 12 Eastern Time. And at 12:30, it's Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms from Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. Mark Brunell, I heard a comment this morning, says he may be ready to quarterback the Jaguars come the playoffs beginning next week.
If they don't wrap him up and put him on crutches, he'll play because he's that kind of a player. And Jacksonville is such a tough place to play. Terrific home.